When I turned 75, I thought I had life all figured out. I had seen it all: love, loss, success, failure. But what I didn't expect was how much life still had to teach me. You think you know what matters. Then, life throws curveballs you never saw coming. It humbles you. It softens you. It wakes you up. So today, I want to share with you the 5 brutal truths that hit me after turning 75. These are not the gentle lessons you find in a book. These are the ones life whispers in your ear in the quiet, lonely moments. And if you're lucky, they change you forever. You see, the older you get, the more invisible you start to feel. People look past you. They assume your best years are behind you. But that's the thing. Growing older doesn't mean you stop growing. It just means the lessons get deeper, sometimes darker, always more real. So if you're over 60, 70, or already past 80, or if you're someone who still has their elders around, I hope these truths speak to you. They're hard to hear, but they're worth listening to. The first brutal truth life taught me after 75: loneliness hurts more than any disease. You expect your body to ache. You expect your energy to slow. But no one warns you about how quiet life becomes. The house that was once filled with noise, kids running down the hall, phones ringing, dinners being made, becomes still. Your partner, if you're lucky to still have them, naps more than talks. And your friends, well, one by one, they begin to disappear. Some move away. Some pass on. Some simply forget to call. You find yourself sitting by the window, watching people walk by, wondering if they even notice you. You go days without a phone call, weeks without a hug. And in those moments, it hits you. You can be surrounded by people and still feel completely alone. No doctor warns you about that kind of ache. It doesn't show up on scans, but it weighs heavy on your chest, heavy on your mornings, heavy on the empty seat across from you at the kitchen table. And the worst part? You feel guilty for feeling it. You tell yourself, be grateful. You've had a long life. But gratitude and loneliness can live side by side. It's okay to miss what once was, to long for a voice in the silence, to wish someone would just sit beside you and say, tell me your stories. So if you're listening to this and you have an older person in your life, call them, visit them, ask them questions. Because nothing heals loneliness like being seen. And if you're the one feeling it, I want you to know this. You are not forgotten. Your life still matters. Your presence still matters, even if the world has grown quiet around you. The second brutal truth? Your body stops asking for permission. One day, you're walking just fine. The next, your knees don't bend like they used to. You drop a spoon and wonder how long it'll take you to bend down and get it. You go to tie your shoes and feel like you've just run a marathon. Your body starts doing things on its own schedule. Your bladder becomes impatient. Your balance becomes unreliable. And sleep? It either becomes your best friend or your most distant memory. And no matter how young you feel inside, your body keeps reminding you of the years you've carried. People mean well when they say, you look great for your age. But they don't see the struggle behind the scenes, the pills lined up like little soldiers on your nightstand, the sigh you let out every time you get out of a chair, the way you have to plan your day around how much energy you have left. You learn to adapt. You move slower. You avoid stairs. You memorize where the handrails are. But you also grieve. You grieve the body that once carried you up mountains, the hands that once held your children steady, the back that once danced without pain. And then comes the fear, the quiet, creeping fear of falling, of being hospitalized, of losing independence. You start to worry, what if this is the beginning of the end? But here's the surprising gift in all of this. When your body slows down, your soul has time to catch up. You start noticing things. The way sunlight spills across the floor in the morning, the warmth of a blanket on a cold day, the taste of your coffee, the sound of a bird. Small things become big things. And you realize this body may be worn, but it's still carrying you, one day at a time. And that's something worth honoring. And that's where the third brutal truth hits. You outlive your friends. By the time you turn 80, you've likely buried more people than you ever expected. Friends you grew up with, Neighbors you spent decades waving to across the fence. Family members who held your hand through the hardest chapters. One by one, they start to go. And it doesn't matter how many times you've heard that death is part of life. It never gets easier. Their laughter becomes memory. Their birthdays come and go in silence. And you're left holding pieces of conversations, old photos, or maybe even a voicemail you can't bring yourself to delete. No one prepares you for this kind of grief. In your younger years, when someone you loved passed away, the world around you seemed to understand. People reached out, brought food, attended funerals, sent cards. But when you're older, the losses start piling up. And sometimes, people just assume you've gotten used to it. But you don't get used to it. You just learn to live around it, to carry it with you. And over time, you might find yourself wondering, who's left that truly knows me? That's the sting of aging. Not just the aches in your bones, but the ache in your soul for the ones you wish you could still call. The friends who remember your stories because they lived them with you. The sibling who teased you, protected you, and drove you crazy in the best way. The spouse who understood your silences as clearly as your words. Outliving them doesn't make you stronger. It just means you carry their legacy now. You become the storyteller, the memory keeper, the one who remembers how it all used to be. It's a heavy role, but it's also sacred. You honor them by living fully, by laughing again, by sharing their stories with the next generation, by carrying forward the wisdom they left behind. Because as long as you remember them, they're not entirely gone. The fourth brutal truth? The world moves on without you. Have you ever felt invisible? Like you're sitting at a table and no one notices you're there? Like the world you once helped build is racing forward without looking back. The world doesn't stop moving just because you've slowed down. Technology changes. Slang changes. Music sounds like noise. And suddenly, even simple things like turning on the TV or booking an appointment require a password, an app, or a grandchild. The cashier calls you hon, but never looks you in the eye. People talk to you slower, like you're fragile. Drivers honk if you walk too slow. And no one seems to want your opinion. It's not just frustrating. It's disorienting. You think, don't they know I was once the one people turned to? You once ran a household, led a team, solved problems, made big decisions. Now, someone half your age wants to explain how to use your own phone. It's easy to feel like the world has moved on and left you behind. But here's the secret no one tells you. You are not behind. You are ahead. You've seen more sunrises than they have. You've held hands through more storms. You've learned that the world doesn't owe you attention, but you still have something to say. Because your story is rich with lessons this rushed world desperately needs. You know how to sit quietly and truly listen. You know what it means to endure. You've lived through wars, recessions, heartbreak, and joy. Your wisdom isn't just useful, it's essential. So even if the world seems to rush past you, remember this. The loudest voices aren't always the wisest. Let your presence be your protest. Stay visible. Speak gently but firmly. Because someone out there still needs the kind of strength that only a life like yours can offer. And now we arrive at the most private, and perhaps the most painful, truth of all. You start to wonder, deep down, do I still matter? You're not working anymore. Your kids don't need you the same way. You've lost roles you once held with pride. Provider, protector, decision maker, daily problem solver. And in the quiet moments, that old whisper creeps in. What's my purpose now? It's a question many never say out loud. But it's there, in the silence of an empty room, in the mirror on a slow morning, in the ache of being forgotten. And here's the truth. Your worth is not tied to what you do. It never was. Even if the world convinced you that being useful meant being busy. That's not the whole story. Because at this stage in life, your greatest offering isn't productivity. It's presence. Just by being here, you are living proof that endurance is possible. You teach resilience, even when you don't say a word. You show what grace looks like, aging in a world obsessed with youth. You prove that love outlasts titles, speed, and status. Sometimes, your mere presence in a room calms it. Sometimes, Your memory of how things used to be offers clarity in a world that's confused. You may not be in the spotlight, but you are still the foundation. And make no mistake, you still matter. To someone, your advice is gold. To someone, your smile is the reason they get up. To someone, you are the rock that makes them feel safe. And if no one's told you this today, let me say it now. You are not forgotten. You are not done. You are not replaceable. You are still here for a reason. So let's take a moment. 5 brutal truths about life after 80. Loneliness can hurt more than any illness. Your body changes whether you like it or not. You outlive friends who once made your world whole. The world seems to move on without you. And you quietly begin to wonder if you still matter. Yes, these truths are hard. But here's something softer, something truer. You're still here. And that means you still have value. Because life doesn't end at 80. It shifts. From noise to stillness. From speed to reflection. From doing to being. Your wisdom, your love, your presence, they matter more than ever. Take joy in the small things. Laugh at silly memories. Watch the sunset slowly. Tell the story again, even if it's the 5th time, because someone younger needs to hear it. And if this message gave you comfort, or if it felt like I was speaking directly to you, I hope you'll stay connected. Subscribe. Be part of a community that still listens. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are still becoming. Take care of yourself. You've earned it. And thank you for sharing these moments with me.